Hello and welcome to today's video. Today is my September wrap-up and I didn't read a ton, but I really liked the books I read, with the exception of one. So let's start with the one I didn't like. I'm just trying to cross my legs here, get comfier in my chair. There. So the first book I read and didn't really like was The Betrothed by Kiera Cass. I gave this 2 stars out of 5. I listened to it as an audiobook and I feel like maybe that wrecked my experience. I did not like the narrators. I felt like the voices changed a lot for her friends and they just weren't very consistent, so it was kind of frustrating, and the voices were just really whiny for the characters, which the characters themselves were very whiny, so I guess the voice was fitting. But I just didn't like it. Adalyn Grace is the main girl and she has the eye of the king, and apparently he's a very attractive young king and he chooses Adalyn Grace, but she doesn't really want to be with the king, and yeah, I don't know, it's just looking back at the story, I don't really understand the point of the story. It just kind of felt like there was no point to me reading that book or listening to it, other than that it was available at the library and I wanted something to listen to while making dinner. It was a very short audiobook. I think it was only maybe 6 hours or 7 hours. And Adalyn Grace, the main girl, is annoying and frustrating, and yeah, I'm sorry, I don't fully remember what happened in the book. Just don't read it. I don't know. If you want to read it, just get it from the library. I really didn't like it. The next book I read was Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. I gave this a 5 out of 5, would recommend, and I'm just reading my notes here, sorry. So this is set in modern day Seoul and it is about a gumiho. And on the back, I think, of the book, it said it was like a K-drama, and it definitely felt like when I was reading it I was watching a K-drama. Don't chew on that side, chew on this side. Which I definitely really liked because I love K-dramas and I've been getting into them again recently. So that was just a hoot. And then the next book I finished was With the Fire on High, and this is by Elizabeth Acevedo. And 5 out of 5, would definitely recommend that book. It was so good. It was about a teen mom. I forget her name. I didn't write it down. I need to write down names. Anyways, I forget her name, and her name. And it was just such a good book because the main girl was such a good character. She was so nice to read about. She loved her kids, she loved her family, she seemed like such a good mom, which I liked, and she loved cooking, and it made me really hungry reading the book. And the ending was just so heartwarming, and when you just read the book, it was just such a heartwarming book. My camera keeps overheating, but I have one more book to talk about. Okay, the last book, I read the whole thing on the last day of September. It was White Hot Kiss by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I don't know why I wrote audiobook. Anyways, I read the whole book in one day. It was a very addicting read. Definitely more like a guilty pleasure read, you know. There was some smut in it, and definitely not like YA. It's probably like NA, maybe. I don't know. It was entertaining and fast-paced, kind of. I don't know. So this one is about a girl who is half warden and half demon. And she lives with the wardens and she meets a demon. This is like Mummy and Nate time today. Nate's been at my parents' house all week because I had a few infections and like a really high fever, and I felt awful, and I still don't feel 100%, but I feel a lot better, so now I can hang out with my baby, which don't chew on the lid, it's a choking hazard.